What we're looking at is a sprite from Frank Lloyd Wright's project Midway Gardens, which was a sort of concert hall beer garden in Chicago. It came to us in a really, really sad state. Clearly its head is missing, and that's the most glaring damage, but more pressing was the system of cracks through its midsection. Every time you moved her, her top portion would sort of wobble. It was very scary, and she wasn't stable enough for exhibition. Ultimately, we discovered that the rebar was bent, so we had to cut her in half, separate the two pieces, and then rotate the top portion and bring it down on the bottom half. So looking at it now, it's back together, and then there's this funny like marshmallow fluff material that we're using as our bulk fill, like the main filling component, which is more of that resin that we use to put the sculpture back together, but that's been bulked with glass microballoons, which you see here. These are very light little spheres made of glass, which helps bulk out the fill. And then the idea of treatment was to, after that fill is completed and come out to the surface, we would finish it off with a skin of concrete matched fill, using more of that acrylic resin, but this time bulked with actual concrete mortar and more of these micro balloons. And then into that we put sand to match the surface. This is why I'm wearing the dust mask. So this is the pigment that will color the fill. And then you try to get it around 1/8 of an inch or so thick. And then you peel them apart, like that. And you end up with a nice texture that grabs the sand that we're going to be applying later. So then you just let that cook for a little while. Jessica, do you want to take it away?
Yeah. So while that sets, I'm going to trace out the fill. And then I'll just bring it down here. And then I'm going to start to cut it out. Basically, I'm just making little dots all the way around so that I can find my trace. And then I will go back and actually cut it out. Now it's just about connecting the dots. So to get the texture, we just use a little bit of acetone just to reactivate the surface. And just brush it on. And then add the sand. I'm just coating the back with the same adhesive that we used to make these.
little sand helps to ease the transition. The final step will be to tone it with some conservation colors, where the fill we're making for the whole piece is the same color, more or less, the same ingredients, but it's not going to match perfectly everywhere because the sculpture isn't all the same color everywhere. So we built in this final step of toning as needed the surrounding areas.